Oh, we are here. We back. What's up, solutionaries? Welcome to the Maj 2 Ray Show. Tapping in. We're going to talk about this. These neocons are destroying America. They're destroying it. And I bought what they say, what the girls say. I bought receipts. Sidebar. If you're a guy and you're saying you bought receipts and not quoting girls, you're a girl. Anyway, guys, what's up? Welcome to the show. Talked about this a little bit earlier in the X space. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following. You subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on X, make sure you repost, quote post. Stop being stingy sons of bitches, holding me hostage to yourself and just on your timeline. Guys, help out, boost the signal, repost the show. But anyway, guys, what's up, everybody? Bruce with the pre-like. Then Zinger, watching from YouTube in Mexico. What's up? Mohagan, what's up? Yo, neocons are slightly better than Democrats. And tonight I'm going to show it to you. Tonight I'm going to give examples. If you watched the space earlier, I kind of went into it. But we're going to get heavier into it tonight. What's up, Rob? How are you? We're going to get into it heavier tonight. But I want everybody to make sure that they share in the space all over the place. Neocons are destroying America. Okay? First, you got to know what a neocon is. A neocon is a person that is a new neophyte, new conservative. Conservative meaning usually identified with Republican, ignorantly now associated more specifically with cultural conservatism as opposed to political conservatism. Political conservatives are supposed to be, I get it, they hide behind the culture conversation. They go, I go to church, I pay my tithes, I dress modestly, my wife dressed I'm married, they do that. But that's just one half of conservatives in regards to what they're supposed to do as it relates to political situations. A limited government conservative is the person that's supposed to limit government. They're supposed to conserve traditional documents like the Constitution, like the Bill of Rights. Okay, so now that we got an understanding of what an actual political conservative is, and conservatism, limiting government, defending the individual's rights. Okay, all of these different things are what's supposed to happen. But somewhere along the lines, the neocons showed up, culturally saying all of the right things. And even though some of those guys say those things and get caught up in all types of scandals. You had, what's the guy? Andrew Gillum down in Florida, the black dude, crack cocaine, regular powder, gay lovers, all that other type of shit. So even these guys pretend, and they cultural conservative thing, by highlighting that, they can almost, because the general public ain't paying attention to C-SPAN, they can kind of hide their lack of limited government conservatism that most of them have. And we fall for it. As the American people, we fall for it. Not me, not y'all, not solutionaries, right? We generally don't. That's why we got to continue to build and inform people to know what this is. So speaking of building and informing, everybody that's watching, make sure you quote post it. If you're watching on Twitter, X, just hit the quote button or just hit the repost button. Quote post. Hey, I'm checking out this, whatever. If you're watching on YouTube, share it. Copy the link, put it on Twitter, something. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should subscribe. YouTube.com/Maj2Ray. So anyway, that's what the neocon is. That's what the variations and split and difference between what a neocon is and how they hide their big government shit. Mickey Fontaine. Hey, Mickey, I think you sent me you donated yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was you. Appreciate you from New Hampshire. Super Weapon says, neocons are the ciphers from the first Matrix movie. Right. That's exactly what they are, right? We got some good movie references coming up and television shows tonight, too. And to kind of hammer these points home, because the general public needs to fully understand what this is, because as we continue to inform more people about this shit, telling people how the game is supposed to go, what's actually the rules of the game, and start to see how these people that they thought were moving a certain way ain't, that's how we win. Because we get a groundswell of the general public starting to tap in and go, you're not doing what the fuck you, that ain't conservative. You ain't defending the Constitution. Okay? It's the same thing when we started to inform people in urban America about what the Second Amendment is about and what it was really for. Limiting government. Defending was yours. So this is very important. And this work needs to continue, so I'm going to ask everybody to support the work all throughout. Give me a super chat. We need 10 folks at $20 each. When you do that, please throw the name of a business or something, or somebody doing some good community work. Toss their name in the super chat, their website, their social media, so they can get some love to it. Okay? So we got the advance and the progression of the neocon. Some of the earlier neocon moves, it's not the only one, but in relation to my sphere of influence, some of the early neocon shit that most of you will understand and kind of have a point of reference was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan co-signed and supported the Mulford Act in California. That Mulford Act pretty much made California an anti-gun city and ushered in the Gun Control Act of 1968. That's a Republican president, actor, entertainer. Get your entertainers are not leaders shirts at blackgunsmatter.shop. Anyway, actor, entertainer, beloved by the people, becomes the governor, becomes the president, all that other good stuff, right? He ushered in anti-gun, supposed Republican, ushered in anti-gun policy that impacted America for decades. That's neocon, expanding government, overreaching into the people's rights. What's up, Bookworm? Okay? That's neocon shit. If you are an actual conservative, you conserve the founding documents, the Bill of Rights, Second Amendment, and you don't do that. That's the early phases of it, okay? Or some of the early phases. Then you start going into, what do you call it? War hawking. And that's exactly what Lindsey Graham is. And that's who's on the stage right now. That's who's on the screen. I did a space earlier today on X talking about the bromance that is Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump. And I'm going to show you how they play each other off. The neocon, we're going to use them as the example tonight. I'm going to show you how they play off of each other moment to moment. I think it was Benjamin Disraeli, if I'm not mistaken. Don't kill me. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Hey, let's get the likes up too in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Everybody smack the like button. Everybody on, I can see when y'all repost the stream. So y'all on X that's not reposting the stream, this is the fuck I'm talking about. It's 94 people watching. 77 of you are on X. Repost it. What the fuck, y'all? It's free. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all tonight, and hopefully everybody reposts and shares this so more people can see it and learn for free. I'm going to show y'all tonight how they do the Benjamin Disraeli thing. And let me know in the chat if I got the wrong person, but I'm pretty sure it's Benjamin Disraeli that said there's no permanent friends and no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. And I'm going to show you how Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump exude that because they know that the general public has short attention spans, has short memories, and will not do the things necessary to strengthen the republic. Okay? They know they won't. I'll give you a perfect example. Every day we do the show Monday through Friday, and I say, if you're watching it, just repost it. It costs you nothing. Our platforms are shadow banned. They are. Or the algorithm isn't giving it the most love. Let's say it that way. There's 110 people watching right now. Let's get them up. 91 people on X. I do not have 91 posts, reposts there. So all I'm saying is, listen, I'm not attacking y'all. I'm just telling y'all that your overlords know that you won't get busy. When you do give pushback, they fall back. Like, remember that bill a few weeks ago where they were talking, I can't remember who it was, but they were offering to, like, sell public lands and stuff like that. The general public in the conservative space actually got off their ass and pushed back. And in the process of pushing back, that bill didn't make it through. The ATF will ask for give a comment period when they're about to try to reclassify some shit, and the black pill people will say, oh, it doesn't matter what you say. They're going to do it anyway. But then when a massive groundswell of Second Amendment supporters articulate and explain, hey, this is a bad idea. Not only is it bad, it's unconstitutional, and here's the science behind what you're trying to reclassify as a machine gun is wrong. You do that thoroughly, and a lot of times the ATF goes, no, we're not going to reclassify that. Do not take the black pill, okay? You're supposed to take the red pill, but you're also not supposed to take the whole fucking bottle. You're supposed to take one. So when you see this and these politicians know that they can't, they know that you got a short attention span, you're not paying attention, you're not dialed in, and if you are dialed in, you won't support policy, you won't boycott businesses and or their donors that own certain businesses. They know you won't be that well invested because you don't understand how serious this shit is. They do. And so tonight, I'm going to show y'all how they fuck around and play with y'all. This shit is wrestling. This shit is wrestling to them. And you just fans in the stands with your beer, your popcorn, and just yelling for your favorite fighter. Meanwhile, the fighters made millions of dollars. They go backstage, they have a drink together. Y'all saw it. At whose funeral was it? And I can't remember who it was. And Barack and Trump sat next to each other, keying it the fuck up. You saw it when Hillary, he said on the first run through when he said, you're lucky I'm not in charge. Someone with the temperament of Donald Trump shouldn't be in charge. And Donald Trump shot back and said, yeah, because you'd be in jail. During his first term, did he arrest Hillary? No. Anytime there's a exchange from one presidency to another, a peaceful exchange of power, they go right along with the person that they just said was fucking the worst person in the world, and they destroying America and da-da-da. I don't shake hands with rats, pussies, and motherfuckers that's trying to destroy my hood or America. I don't give a fuck whose funeral we at. Fuck you. And matter of fact, who sat me next to this fucking rat? I'm actually a patriot, though. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all how they play each other. And, how they use each other to play y'all. Let's read this real quick. I want to read this real quick. Graham, Trump is ready to move. This was from yesterday. Trump is ready to move on Russia sanctions. Frustrated with Putin, the president also reversed last week's Ukraine aid halt. So Trump campaigned while Biden was in office, said we're spending too much on Ukraine, we this, Ukraine, we needed that, did all of that shit. Looked like a Drake video, he was saying so much shit. One of them was the Ukraine thing. What did he do? Now he's saying we're going to keep sending some more weapons to Ukraine. Now, let me be very clear, because this isn't simply cut and dry. And we're going to talk about this. He's trying to get Russia to not do a thing because his ego was chasing these Nobel Peace Prizes and shit, which is super ironic because he started getting nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes after he was fucking bombing places. The same as Barack Obama. Neocons and Democrats, Michael Malice said it best. Conservatives are Democrats going the speed limit. So, Obama says, I'm going to bomb a bunch of places. Obama gets a Nobel Peace Prize. Trump starts bombing places, and now he's up for potentially a Peace Prize. Sanctions with this Russia thing, I want this to be done, and I want to get my name on it that I'm the president to stop the Russia-Ukraine war. So I can get more. This is where his ego gets out of whatever. And then the principles and the intellectual consistency goes out of the window. And then people like Graham show up and go, well, I'm right here for you, Mr. President. Okay? Graham, and Trump is ready to move on Russia sanctions. Frustrated with Putin, the president also reversed last week's Ukraine aid halt, which means he'd given money and or weapons packages because it's the same thing to Ukraine. Senator Lindsey Graham's long-awaited Russia sanction bill advances. Listen, long-awaited Russia sanctions bills. Sanctions are ways that one government starts economic war on another country. Senator Lindsey Graham's long-awaited Russia sanction bill advances now with President Trump's support. The legislation which has over 80 co-sponsors in the Senate. Of course they're Republican. Conservatives. Advocating, they know what sanctions are. They would impose punishing sanctions on myriad Russian officials and sectors while enacting 500% secondary tariffs on countries doing business with Moscow, like India and China. You motherfuckers, so let me stop right there. I mentioned all of this in the in the solutionary space on X earlier. I want to go over this again. Sanctions are the beginning of economic warfare. If more even than tariffs, sanctions say we are going to, you can't do business with us and nobody else. And anybody that do business with you, we got beef with them too. That is economic warfare. So when Castro overthrows Batista in the Bay of Pigs in Cuba, and then the United States government wanted a military base in Cuba, and Batista might have played ball, but Fidel Castro was like, absolutely the fuck not. And Che Guevara, his right hand, was like, absolutely the fuck not. And they pointed missiles at the United States. The United States put a trade embargo, sanctions on Cuba. That's why the price of Cuban cigars are so expensive, because they got to go all the way through Europe and this, that, and the third to get back to America. They got to get to a country that doesn't have sanctions with, you understand? Even though, sidebar completely, I'm a nerd the fuck out, even though the best cigars are like Honduran and fucking Nicaraguan, because when the Bay of Pigs and all of that happened in exile in Cuba, a lot of the growers and their rolling skills and their seeds, the natural seeds, the virgin seeds went with them. Okay, the allure, to Bobby's point right here, the allure around Cuban cigars is because they used to have that shit, but it's Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Ecuador, all of that other type of shit. You just couldn't get them because of a sanction. Okay, we ain't doing business with them, and if you are ally, you can't do business with them either. So that's street shit. I want y'all to understand that. And they know that. They know that. So when you know that, and then you say, we putting case on all you bitches, right? When you do that, it's like, wait a minute. You are fucking Lonzo from fucking, how you telling me who I can do business and who I can't with? So in this instance, they're going to try to put sanctions on Russia and their officials, and enacting 500% secondary tariffs on countries doing business with Moscow. So y'all trying to have beef with India, China, and Russia at the same time. This is Lindsey Graham. Now, some of you say, well, why the fuck would he do that? What does he get from that? Lobbying works like this. Let's call a company Halliburton. Oh, let's call it Halle Berry. The company that makes weapons is called Halle Berry. I'm Halle Berry. I hire a team of lobbyists that go lobby on my behalf to people in the government. Now, I can't just me, Halle Berry, walk up to them and say, hey, I want to give you some money to do this thing. That would be wrong and illegal. Okay? So they say, hey, these employees of Halle Berry want to come talk to you. There's 20 of them. Or one represents 20 of the other 19 of them. And he goes and talks to Senator Lindsey Graham and says, hey, man, we would love to get some support for your next campaign. I know that the campaign finance laws don't allow me to give $1 million, but I think these other 19 gentlemen that I represent could put the maximum contribution and get you to maybe 20 or 30, 40, whatever $1 million. And all we're trying to really have a discussion about is, we got Halle Berry sells a lot of makeup. It's shaped like missiles. We need somewhere to sell these to, so we need certain concessions, because we love what you're doing in the great state of South Carolina. They lobby him. So then he figures out ways that he can continue to get money for Halle Berry, Halliburton. Okay? So he says, man, if we could get into a war with Russia, because we want to keep expanding the empire. We want to keep expanding the empire, then we can keep printing up more money. I can get kickbacks, this company, that company, da 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 da. So that's Lindsey Graham's position. So he crafts this legislation saying, we're going to put sanctions on Russia. Mind you, sanctions were put on Russia in 2020 when Russia went into Ukraine. Now, if anybody got any questions on any of this, if you're watching this on X, and if you got questions and want to be a part of the chat, jump in on on YouTube. Okay? Jump in on YouTube. In a little bit, we're going to open the lines up so y'all can tap in, make a phone call, video, and whatever. Okay? So Lindsey Graham says, okay, I'm going to get the money from wherever I can get it. And the biggest spender and our biggest budget, military-industrial complex. National defense. Not let's defend the nation and keep our military members strong. It's machines, missiles. Wars are fought in fucking sectors now. It's not as many of the boots on the ground type of shit. Not as many. But anywho, he says, yo, we gonna make it this way. And because Russia has already proven that they can maneuver with the sanctions on them. They've been having sanctions on them since 2020. Their economy got better. Motherfuckers still buying AKs and vodka. Come on, potatoes and shit. Like, that's happening. You feel me? So he goes, so matter of fact, not only are we going to put sanctions on Russia, we're going to do a 500% tariff on countries that do business with them. That is street shit. That is Idris Elba's character in the movie American Gangster. When he went up to Frank and was like, Frank, the cost of doing business is 30%, Frank. Such and such and such. And Frank Lucas stands up and says, you trying to put me out of business. Hey, you don't like selling drugs, Frank? Then just go back down to North Carolina. Da, da, da. And then Frank Lucas stands up and goes, my man. Then the next time when he's supposed to meet him to bring him his 30% or whatever it is, Frank Lucas shoots Idris Elba's character in the fucking head. Because imposing a sanction on someone for doing business is a mafia tactic to squeeze them. Now, sometimes the people weak enough, they're not strong enough, so they fold. Or they try to get to a collective bargaining table, which is what Trump does a lot. He says this extreme thing. It gets people, oh, no, we can't have that. He did it with Canada with their tariffs. But the leader, Xi Jinping and Pang, whatever, in China and Russia and India, they not fucking Fidel Castro's son in Canada, the prime minister of Canada, Trudeau, or who he was. They not him. That's a internet theory that Trudeau is actually Fidel Castro's son. But nonetheless, I don't want to go on the sidebar. Sidebar, GiveSingo.com/solutionary. Guys, support the work. If you're learning something from the show tonight, if you're sharing, if you're having some good energy, support the work. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. We need 100 people to donate $25 so we hit our goal today. That's the link. I'm going to leave it up there for a little while. So anyway, everybody ain't. Oh, damn, I got 2 super chats from last night that I forgot to hit. Who is this? Terry Renee. She's not in the chat right now. And Big Rob from yesterday did 2 super chats. Big Rob for $20 and Terry Renee for $9.99, $10. Thank y'all for that. If anybody wants to super chat, please do so, okay? We need 10 at $20. But anyway. So, Graham is on that. He writes this paperwork up. He goes, all right, cool. Trump not feeling it, but he got it already put together. And why Trump not feeling it? Because their relationship is wishy-washy and is very no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. Problem is their permanent interest impacts your wallet in the form of inflation, so forth and so on. So let's read a little bit more. 500% secondary tariffs on countries doing business with Moscow like India and China. The legislation had stalled for months in the light of repeated White House concerns that the package might upset diplomatic efforts toward a negotiated political solution to the war in Ukraine. Now, Trump at that time was saying in the White House, we can get this done diplomatically. Trump ego was still like, man, if we settle this thing, I could another Nobel Peace Prize. I go down as the motherfucker that got more prizes for peace than anybody. Trump is trying to chase legacy, and the problem is he's a dog chasing a goose potentially off the cliff because he's not paying attention because he's not an actual conservative. So he wanted to do this thing in a peaceful way. Here's Lindsey Graham and other war hawks that get the kickbacks. And Trump is no stranger to understanding this. And Trump also is like, yeah, if the guys can eat, if they loyal to me, they can eat because of the ego shit. But now Graham says Trump has given the green light. Quote, we're moving, said Lindsey Graham, the author of the bill. Graham said, Trump told me it's time to move, so we're going to move. Prospects for the legislation bubble amid diplomatic malaise, where Trump, increasingly fed up by the lack of diplomatic progress regarding the Ukraine war, even reversed the decision made by the Pentagon last week to halt Ukraine aid. Quote, this is Trump. We get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin. If you want to know the truth, Trump told reporters during his cabinet meeting yesterday, he's very nice to us all of the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. At the cabinet meeting, Trump himself concurred that he was very strongly considering the sanctions proposal lobbied by Graham. It's totally at my option. They passed it totally at my option, and to terminate it totally at my option. And I'm looking at it very strongly. Now, let me be very clear. This is where the game of politics gets played when you're talking about the art of the deal type shit. I'm not going to pretend like Trump don't do art of the deal type shit, because the tariff conversation a while ago, he lied to the American people saying, we're going to have tariffs and the tariffs are going to get rid of your income. We may have enough to get rid of the income tax. That's to get public consent behind it, the peanut gallery. But that's not really what's going to happen. He's using the television to leverage. So then the other Trudeaus and shit go like, oh, man, we can't do that. The reason being is because America's a consumer-based economy. You want to sell your products in our country. We're not trying to fucking sell shit in Canada. We barely like Drake anymore. Fuck out of here. Okay? So they want to do that. So he's leveraging the tariff conversation. The problem is, you're now saying this to Russia, who has a stronger economy since y'all initially put the sanctions on them in the fucking whole, the UN and all of that, with the Ukraine shit. And then other nations like India, like China, go, all right, we're going to work together. Then you get strengthening in BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Again, then you got a few days ago, him saying, we're going to put a 10% tariff on any country that deals with BRICS. So the Trump administration is trying to do all of this gangster blustering type of situation, but Putin and them like, yo, we selling a lot of fucking AKs. And over time, if y'all keep doing that, we gonna get more countries fucking with BRICS than fucking with UN. And we got fucking nuclear warheads. You talk about Iran shouldn't have them. North Korea got them. Israel got like 170 of them. And not that Israel's in this equation for this conversation. But all I'm saying to y'all is, this all comes from neocons like Lindsey Graham that don't have any children. So it ain't no, maybe my son or grandson will get sent to war. He has none. They get the kickback from Halle Berry that says, I got these 20 guys that may have $100,000 apiece to get into your war chest for your re-election campaign, which basically means his bank account. Because as long as everything is for campaign purposes and the paperwork straight, it doesn't matter. So he does all of this. These types, these neocons, in conjunction with the war hawk neocon, in conjunction with an egotistical Donald Trump type. It goes through me. Bro, you could, if everything went through you, why the fuck you didn't get SBRs off the NFA item list? Mr. I do it well. Republicans, the Republican parliamentary showed up and said, oh, the Byrd law is the reason why the SBR thing the Short Act got to get taken out. But that's a whole nother sidebar. So he says this, Putin is throwing shit at us, to leverage it. But a neocon war hawk like Lindsey Graham actually wrote this because he wants to get paid and satisfy the donors. That's the same thing that Trump just did with this big, beautiful bill. Right after that, it was low-key like, fuck everything. We already got the votes. We got it through. Fuck Thomas Massie. I'm going to try to spend $1 million to primary him. Fuck it. And I'm going to give a breakdown that I want y'all to really, really think about as it relates to why they move this way. We're given the understanding of how the neocon moves for sure. Okay? They have a financial interest. None of the people that go to war in them scenarios, they not they people. This is why I get so upset with the vet bros that just get behind Trump or any politician simply because they're a Republican, because a Republican does not necessarily mean conservative. There's a term for that shit. It's called a RINO, Republican in name only. They don't conserve the Constitution. They don't limit the fucking government. They don't curb spending. Okay? Keimer Shadow says removing the tax stamp costs open the door for lawsuits to remove the NFA. Okay, maybe. Cool. The NFA shouldn't exist. You got a Republican-led House and Senate. You're fighting principled Second Amendment dudes like Thomas Massie. Your Republicans are coming up with a way to get fucking... Wasn't nobody asking you motherfuckers, hey, is the Short Act, is it in alignment with the Bird Law? No, the fucking Republican parliamentarian came through and did that. So you guys couldn't even get the Short Act off of the shit, but you in charge. And you a Republican in name only, as most in DC are. Because they're war hawks and they make money off this shit. At the cabinet meeting, Trump himself concurred that he was very strongly considering the sanctions proposal lobbied by Graham. It's totally at my option. They passed it totally at my option. Ego. Okay? Trump's words have been music to Graham's ears. President Donald Trump is spot on about the games Putin is playing. Of course he's going to say that. Of course. I'm going to play something right after this. I'm going to play something right after this paragraph. And I want y'all to see. President Donald Trump is spot on about the games Putin is playing. Graham wrote on X Tuesday. The Senate will move soon on a tough sanctions bill, not only against Russia, but also against countries like China and India that buy Russian energy products that finance Putin's war machine. That's the fucking leftist talk. Putin's gonna, when Biden was in office, we can't let Putin, he's gonna march into Poland. Then it's gonna be just like the Germans and Nazi and blah, 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 so give us more money. Same game. The Senate bill has a presidential waiver to give President Trump maximum leverage. So basically, Graham is saying, yeah, Trump's the guy. Trump's our guy. Trump. That's what he's saying this whole time. Well, what was he saying about Trump not too long ago?
To hearing what Donald Trump says.
And disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I retired this June. He's the ISIL Man of the Year, by the way. He just got back from Iraq a week ago this Monday.
I know. We interviewed you live from there. You were with Senator John McCain, and you were going...
That's the same guy that Trump is meat gobbling. That's the same guy that's meat gobbling Trump. They play with y'all. They don't expect you to remember this. They don't expect you to be principled. They don't expect you to pull a foul up. They don't expect you to be a solutionary. They don't expect you to have an understanding of civics. They don't expect people like us hardworking Americans. They don't expect us to even fucking know who Benjamin Disraeli is, let alone know his quote. There are no permanent enemies or permanent friends, only permanent interests. This is the perfect example of that. And I know, y'all gonna say, well, Maj, that was just Lindsey Graham. Oh, but what about fucking Trump? What did he say about Lindsey Graham? But now they besties. Besties. It's an ad. Well, I'll talk during this ad, y'all. Besties. You are not upset enough at your fucking government. They are playing you. We, as solutionaries, know it, though.
His former Vice President Mike Pence posted on X, on Twitter, this response, quote, President Trump's retreat on the right to life is a slap in the face to the millions of pro-life Americans who voted for him in 2016 and 2020. And we saw a similar note of criticism from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who said, quote, I respectfully disagree with President Trump's statement that abortion is a states' rights issue. Dobbs, that's the case in which Roe was overturned, Dobbs does not require that conclusion legally. And the pro-life movement has always been about the well-being of the unborn child, not geography, meaning state by state. Trump took to Truth Social just moments ago to attack Lindsey Graham by saying, in part, Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a great disservice to the Republican Party and to our country. He basically is saying that that's a loser of an issue politically, so Republicans shouldn't be there. Do you think any of this is going to have any impact?
They pick and choose when they want to act like they're not on the same team and on the same team. And this translates into, don't think that this is just one party's internecine rivalry. It's not. You just saw at fucking Carter's death, Trump and Obama busting it the fuck up. Besties. Laugh. Let me tell y'all a story. Years ago, when I'm talking about like 18 or 19, I worked at Foot Locker. And the Foot Locker that I worked in, one of them, we all used to go play basketball after the fucking, Sundays. We would play, because, at the malls closed early on Sundays. So we would go play basketball. And I had a basketball, but there was other people like dribbling basketballs around the fucking mall. One of the security guards was like, yo, I told you to stop, get out of here and stop dribbling that basketball, right? Said all of that. I said, bro, I haven't dribbled the basketball. The dude thought I was somebody else, right? So they go through that and they go, get out of here. And I'm like, yo, bro, I had on regular clothes. I'm like, yo, I work here. I work here at this Foot Locker. He didn't believe me. We go all the way out. I get arrested because I guess I took too long or some shit like that. And I wound up having to articulate every single thing in court. I caught it and I just laid everything out. The day that I got a citation and I had to go to court. It wasn't like a criminal thing. They put me in the back of the joint. They gave me the citation. They said, I got to go to court. They anticipated me just paying the citation. I genuinely was not dribbling the basketball. He thought I was somebody else. He told me to leave. I was walking. I got arrested outside of the actual mall. Okay? I get to court. I start breaking all of this shit down. And the judge tossed the case out. And people started clapping I bullshit y'all not. Shouts to my man Trav. Trav, I don't know if you even watching my shit now. We've lost contact. But my point is, they didn't anticipate me, A, being there, B, being as sharp as I fucking was. These politicians do not expect y'all to go get a fucking class, to not be on point. They expect once you recognize that Trump was on certain levels better than Kamala in the world, stage, they expect you to just agree and go along with what everything Trump says, like Palantir. Like, they don't expect you to understand what a fucking tariff and a sanction is. I'm telling you, I'll be a fly in the wall on a lot of these rooms. I'm telling y'all. They don't expect you to call Charlie Kirk. I love Pastor Scott, right? When he called out Charlie Kirk bullshit. Me and Pastor Scott he doesn't go as hard on Trump because that's his guy. That's his homie since before Trump was even president, okay? So I don't really challenge him on too many things. But when he gets certain shit right, I'm like, nah, Pastor Scott's right. Pastor Scott will call out fucking Charlie Kirk in a heartbeat. They don't expect you to be nuanced and leveled and shit like that. They're banking on you not knowing this shit, banking on you being unhealthy, banking on you not connecting the fucking dots. A sanction and or tariff is Bodie after Stringer Bell gets killed on the wire and fucking Angelo, right, is booked. And they got a whole new situation. Marlowe's in charge, Slim is the middleman, right? And Bodie's like, yo, man, fucking old days. Stringer was, if Avon was here, and Slim told him, the thing about the old days is they the old days. And Bodie went off his own, was like, fuck that. I built this corner. I've already been getting a package. Pause. But this shit is, I ain't making no real money. I built this fucking corner up. And that's even when Marlowe walked up to him and was like, yo, what's your name, Biddy? He's like, you know my name. He's like, well, this corner, being as you built this corner all up, we need it, yo. And he had to go there, he had to get down with it. He got down with it, wasn't feeling it. And what happened after that sanction was imposed? Tariffs were fucking imposed? What happened? Bodie said, fuck this. Bitch, I'd rather die. Got into a shootout with Chris and Snoop, and we all know how that went. It's the same thing. But you're doing it now with China. Not us. We the American people. Okay? The United States government and dick riders like Lindsey Graham are writing up, 500% tariff. If you had a corner that was humming and you told people you could sell on my corner, and then somebody did something that you ain't like, and they was like, yeah, you can sell on my corner, but all of your product that you send in here, since you dealing with them, I'm charging you 5,000% of what you bring in here. Why? Like, the question becomes, one, I just stopped selling shit on your corner. Figure out another corner. That's what Russia did when the sanctions were imposed on them in 2020, right? Find new corners, find new relationships, find new connects, new plugs, right? Or you go, that corner over there is valuable enough that me and my team should go kill y'all for it, or at least shoot it out with y'all for it. It's the same thing. Lindsey Graham writes this shit up because we so used to having the military might and being the bully that people tend to just go like Trudeau. But these people, Donald Trump just wished Lindsey Graham a happy birthday yesterday or the day before or some shit. Besties. This is after he got that big, beautiful bill. This is why he wanted to go attack Thomas Massie, who was garnering support. Fuck no, we not. This is horrible. This is not limited government. That's why he has to call him a grandstander. Now that we got my motherfucking donors have been satisfied. Y'all could eat now that we got off our bricks. Not what's good for the American people. Trump has done a 180-degree turn. Anybody that disagrees with me, please jump out there. Please. Admin, throw the fucking call-in number up there. Because I dare any one of y'all. I dare any one of y'all to act like what I'm saying ain't right. I dare you. Or just come up and, it ain't got to be beef. Just come up and give your perspective. But all I'm saying to y'all is this. We got to look at this way. This is why I'm pleading with y'all to be in the solutionary 9. You see how I'm explaining this and everybody can fucking understand it? I'm telling y'all it's the same shit. I be around Sebastian Gorka, not so much more lately, because I'm critical of Trump and he's Trump's guy. I'll be around all of these people on occasion, and I can't unsee what I see. I can't unsee it. I know it now. And I'm telling y'all, they don't anticipate you knowing and learning. They don't anticipate you getting stronger. They anticipate you whining on social media. They don't want you to see them as gangsters. They want the benefit of looking tough on crime, tough on whatever. But they don't want you to identify them as RINOs. Limited government RINOs stealing your children and grandchildren's future spending power because they keep printing up money. Then the irony of Trump after the big, beautiful bill, then saying, I'm going to put a 10% tariff on BRICS nations in any fucking country that does business with them because they're trying to weaken the dollar. They're trying to weaken the dollar. Not your massive spending. Not you doing the exact opposite of what you campaigned on. Not spending more than the Biden administration, even though you spent 4 years bitching about the loss when Biden cheated, saying how stupid Biden is, saying how he's spending us into oblivion, saying all of that. You said all of that and just come back. That big, beautiful bill is $4 trillion. With a T. With a T. And how do I know that the general public wants something else? How do I know that the general public would benefit? They just may not know where to turn. How do I know that we got the answers? Because this right here, 171 days into Donald Trump's term, the president's net approval is negative 12%. And that's up 0.4 points since last week. You know, last week, after the Iran bombing shit, after the big, beautiful bill, it's a little bit up because people got short-ass memories. It's up 0.4 since last week. 42% approved, 54% disapproved, 5% not sure. What you have to do is this. This is what we got to recognize. This the real shit. The question that you got to ask yourself is this. What the fuck is the point of having Republicans in office like Graham, neocons, like Lindsey Graham, like Donald Trump, if they're doing the same thing that Democrats do, minus maybe the cultural shit, minus the transgender shit? I don't give a fuck what transgenders do. If I take trannies in bathrooms, if we can get the budget cut and stop this fucking spending, because one of those have an impact on my grandchildren's economic stability, and one of them does not. But they throw this culture war shit out at you while they overspending more than the Biden administration. They anticipate you not knowing shit. Then they expect you to fall for the fearmonger when they go, no, you can't primary them. You can't sit the midterms out. That's going to just give it back to the Democrats. Y'all have the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. You've overspent. You've not deported as many people as you said you would. You've gotten us involved in a Middle East fucking war, Iran, Israel. What is the benefit of having you there? There is none. You ain't even strengthening the Second Amendment. The Short Act got out of the fucking big, beautiful bill from Republicans by Republican parliamentarians. So the question y'all got to ask yourself is, and I'm going to tell y'all what the answer is. Here's the answer before I ask the question. Do not vote for fucking Republicans come this midterm. Go independent, go Green Party, go Libertarian, or sit it out. They have not earned your vote. And you're going to run into... let me ask the question first that I already gave an answer to. Question is, what do we do about these politicians and Republicans? And that's what you do. Don't vote for them. If you don't vote for them and somebody else is in, and if Democrats are putting bullshit up there, you can still use the judicial branch. See, they don't want you looking at the judicial branch. It's annoying and it's more steps, but they do it all of the time. They don't want you looking at that because they want you caught in this binary. Red or blue. If you don't vote for us, they're going to win. Democrats say the same shit. Come on, man. If you don't get out to the vote, you're going to leave it up to a Donald Trump. They're doing the same thing. Republicans and neocons worse. Worse. It's just a different war. Now it's Ukraine, Russia, China, Iran, possibly fucking India. You got to be honest about these things, y'all. And I get it. Y'all like Trump. I like him. Charismatic. I like it. Funny. That don't mean I can't critique him and say he's not doing the job fully. 171 days into his term, his net approval rating is down 12%. Is at negative 12%, and that's up 0.4 points since last week. 42% approve, 54% disapprove, 5% not sure. I can't make that up. I can't make it up. I'm not going to make it up. Yo, we're going to wrap up here. I want to be very, very clear. Shouts to Super Weapons with the $10 super chat. Says, having lived in D.C. during Obama and Trump's terms, all of these politicians and their agents are unimpressive, unintelligent lames that can only get by doing the most underhanded tactics. That's what it is. Critiquing is being disloyal to politicians nowadays. It's the most goofy silliness in the world. And we have some answers, y'all. How we get answers to this is we legitimately inform ourselves and step outside of their thing. You have to. You have to. If you don't, you continue to keep voting. Lesser of two evils is what's gotten us. I want y'all to understand that. Lesser of two evils is what has gotten us here. Oh, they the lesser of two. It's the lesser of two evils. It's still evil. And I don't think these people are, regardless of what you want to call it, it's not better than the other. Okay? These things are all very important. It's still evil. Still evil. Stealing the purchasing power of your future countrymen and countrywomen and their children and grandchildren is the most evil shit ever. Do y'all know that since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913 and the income tax in 1914, the US dollar has lost 96% of its value? Do you know that right now, a few years ago, what would cost you $1 now costs you $1.25. This is all because of the massive money printing and spending and debt and interest. What are they printing the money up for? Expanding the empire via war and bully tactics. So when someone is principled and says, that's not conservative, that's not political conservatism, we may have one grandstander. He's a second-rate grandstander. Thomas Massie's a grandstander. Yeah, because it's grandly standing in the way of you spending us. Elon just said it. You are going to bankrupt America. Now, to a certain extent, I got enough rounds. I kind of low-key was hoping the zombie apocalypse happened in 2020. Me personally. But every American ain't built like a solutionary is. I thought we was going to get zombies. I was praying. I was like, oh, man, this COVID shit going to be zombies. Remember like 3 months before we would have fucking, what you call them joints? Like videos on YouTube of like people in China like falling out and doing all this crazy shit. And then the COVID shit happened. I was like, this is what we trained for. I was on that shit. When you start paying attention to world history, every single fiat currency in world history that has not been backed by something, all of it goes to zero. Every fiat currency over time goes to fucking zero. All of it. When Nixon took that shit off the gold standard, bro, you take it off the gold standard so you can keep printing. You keep printing so you can keep expanding. Every time you print, you devalue the dollar. then to try to bully again instead of just contracting and going, y'all got it. We just gonna work on our thing over here. These are serious conversations. I feel I can make fun of them because if worse come to worse, I'll take what's necessary. If worse come to worse, y'all, worse come to worse, I'm gonna be fine. Some of y'all ain't. I promise you, I'm gonna be fine. I already know what buildings I'm taking. Allegedly. Okay? Saying this to say, there's a certain level of good feeling and confidence that comes from being capable that I want all of y'all to have. I don't want y'all to have this. I see the struggle and the like pain on a lot of fucking people's faces, bro. I see it. They be nervous. One of my favorite songs by Nipsey Hussle is I Don't Stress. I might stress because I'm nervous for y'all. Like, I'm like, damn, we got to do this. Because so many of the people that I care about, if the dollar go, it's going to be done. And all of our elected officials are just going, they don't know anything, so we can do anything. That's why I'm like, we got to just keep informing and training and then once you turn that light bulb on, once that confidence, that feeling of like, get the fuck out of here. Some people don't even want to critique Trump in this current Republican-led Congress because they feel like they're going to get ousted from the team. When you know your team is wrong and you know you're right, you can hold your nuts and really mean it. That's a feeling I want for every single one of y'all that's not in the Solutionary Nine. And we made it where you can get the feeling and get the information and get the community while doing good. Support the work. You gotta be a better shooter. If this shit go left, I'm gonna be fine. Right. Listen, look. I never hoarded toilet paper during COVID. I just figured if I needed it, I would acquire it. That's like me, when we gun people, respectfully, okay? When we see like preppers and hoarders, it's very rare that you see real preppers that don't have guns or don't train with firearms. A lot of them get busy. But when I see people with a whole bunch of groceries and they just hanging out and then they're like, yeah, at the grocery store, it's like, bro, thanks. All you did was get the groceries for me and my crew if we get light. That's all. Or in a warlord situation, this is going to sound harsh. In a warlord situation, we don't even need some people that would be warlords there. I don't even need to run out of my shit. I just want your shit. It's a lot of people like that. That's on that. I'm a light fighter. I've done survival courses. I know my shit. Like, I would look. Mahagan says Maj would make a good warlord. Good thing he knows about peace. I'm really a pacifist. My point in saying that is there is such an amazing feeling, right? Right. In a warlord situation, I don't need to keep anything. I just need to know where you keep yours. This is the reality of what Reese says, wow, evil world. Y'all, we in America, we just haven't seen real hunger. A lot of y'all have never seen real hunger. If the electric and the Wi-Fi go off for 3 days, you're fucked. You're fucked. Most people are fucked. The feeling and the joy and the lack of stress that goes along with, I have the skill, the will, and the capability to take shit and keep the shit that I have and defend that. You have to become a better shooter. You got to train so you don't freeze when that shit matters. You got to move like you know what you're doing because you do. You got to be able to protect your family. This is why I keep yelling at y'all. This is why I'm trying to keep the Solutionary Center going. And I'm imploring everybody. There's 335 folks watching. It's light tonight. I don't know why. But Guys, if 335 people, let's make 335 solutionaries tonight. This is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to go to that link right there. If you're watching this on X, it's my pinned post. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I'm going to do something for you. Every donor over $99, I'm going to give you the lifetime membership. That's the giving. I'm also going to be on your ass, pause, for 99 days. You got it for the lifetime. I promise you, you donate to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Do the stuff that's in the Solutionary 9. Get stronger. Be a better shooter. We're going to give you your macros. We're going to give you a workout routine. We're going to give you meal plans. I make that stuff and give it to you. I'm going to do all of that. If you give me 99 days, you'll be a better shooter. You'll be more at peace. Your family life will be better. Somebody that's in the Solutionary 9, call me the fuck out if I'm lying. If you're in the Solutionary 9 right now, in our private group, call me out. Don't sugarcoat it. Call me out if I'm on bullshit. You'll lose weight if you're trying to lose weight. You'll be a better shooter if you're trying to be a better shooter. You'll definitely be fucking smarter. These are my books of the month. For the rest of July. We had this for June and July. Okay? Leslie, we got to get you in a Solutionary 9, Leslie. But listen, Mohagan says, Maj has me addicted to tracking my macros. It's so fun. Tracking your macros for your intended goal, these things are great, man. I'm just telling y'all, pay it forward. Y'all got $100, okay? Listen, get a membership. Pay it forward to help us buy the building. Get a membership. Give me 99 days. If I don't come through on every fucking thing that I'm telling you for you, not me, for you. If I don't come through on everything that I'm talking about, right, I'll give you your $99 back. I'm just telling y'all, y'all see how I move throughout the world just doing whatever the fuck I want to do because I'm capable. And my competence comes from my capabilities. My capabilities came from me learning shit for years and trying it and failing it and sculpting it into a program. The fact that I can correlate between The Wire and geopolitics, that's not an accident. I want y'all to pick up without getting all of the pain and ignorance that I had to do. I want y'all to pick up right there and start feeling better with your family. I want y'all to know how to know the system so you can beat it. I've been beating the system ass a lot of times for years in certain areas that people be like, he must be the feds. He just be doing shit. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm just be doing shit. You got to know the rules so you can bend the matrix. You got to the men more specifically, yo. You got to fucking like lead your community, lead your household. Fuck it. I don't even want you to lead a community. Lead your household from a different place. And I'm not saying this as a diss. I'm saying that in the sense of I got some answers and them shits work. I'm telling y'all, this work. It works. Bobby just said, well-rounded, multicultural, like-minded people who genuinely want to see you do well. How could that hurt? It just fucking can't. It can't. You can break so many narratives just in the one group, just applying these things. I'm just telling y'all how I feel, and I know fucking Bearded Cyclops lost 100 pounds. He was 400 pounds. I'm working on my man Maurice next. I'm going to get to Reese down in on the coast. I'm going to get to him. I'm gonna take about 200 pounds off him over the summer and winter. My point is, I just got to answer, y'all. I just got to answer. This shit worked for me, right? It's worked for others. This shit worked. And it's a feeling that I can't really describe. I don't get tricked by this shit. I remember shit better. I'm like, Lindsey Graham, that's who you, what? He said this about you. But that's the same goofy shit. Remember on the primary stage, Kamala said Biden was a white supremacist and a racist? Then it's, we did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. I get to laugh at it because none of this shit affects me. It could if I didn't know what I knew, if I wasn't dialed in. But anyway, guys, thank you all for tapping into the Maj Toure Show. We will be here tomorrow, same time, same channel. I appreciate you all. Do two things. One, share the show. Share the space all over the place. If you're watching this on X, quote post and put the GiveSendGo link. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. That costs you nothing. It's free 99. Okay? And if you are getting some of this information, be a donor. Every donor. Let's see if we can get 10 folks. It's 338 of y'all in here, right? Let's get 10 folks to say, all right, Maj, I'm in. Donate $99 or more. Help us with buying our building, securing the classes. We've done years of work. Y'all know what that's about. Do it for 99 days. That's all. Motherfuckers want to take 75 hard. I've done 75 hard. Okay? Do it for 99 days. Legit. You want to be smarter, better, in better shape, and a better shooter? I'm 1,000% going to give you your money back. How the fuck is that a loss? You help somebody else, you get awesome, or you fucking get your money back. A little bit of time is all. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Thank y'all all for tapping in. I will see y'all tomorrow at the same time, at the same channel. Be safe. Be solutionary.